Have you ever met a girl and at first she seems cool, she's hot, but then as you get to know her, you realize she's just another NPC. She watches Love Island, listens to Taylor Swift, scrolls TikTok all day, loves going out and shopping for hours, and she has a bunch of friends who are basically just carbon copies of her who sit around gossiping about other people all day long. That's kind of a big letdown, right? Like maybe I'll try and bring this girl home and have some fun, but is not the type of person. She no longer seems attractive to me long term. Well, what about you? What does your life look like right now? Because for me, just a few years back, my life was like, wake up, work, go to the gym, eat dinner, sleep, wake up, go to the gym, work, eat dinner, watch Netflix, sleep, wake up, work, watch YouTube, eat dinner, sleep. It was this monotonous, repetitive life with no excitement. It was wearing down on me and honestly eating away at my desire to even be alive. Like what the fuck is the point of all this, man? And on top of all of this, it makes us seem boring and unattractive to girls, almost like we're the male equivalent of that Taylor Swift NPC. So in this video, I want to take a look at 7 hobbies that I've picked up over the last few years that have reinvigorated my love for life. They've pushed me to grow and develop faster as a man, and also they help me get a lot more girls. Now, a quick warning, do not start these hobbies just to get girls. That is never a wise idea in life. But if your life has been feeling a bit lacking and boring lately, then a new hobby just might be the perfect medicine. Number 1, the grill master. So as y'all probably know from watching the videos, my wife Julia does about 100% of the cooking for us. Well, maybe I should say 99%, because there is one part of cooking, maybe it's not cooking, but one part of the food preparation that I like to handle myself. And look, the main reason I like to do this is because most people suck at preparing meats, and meats are the best part of the meal. I want to make sure that if I buy a nice ribeye, it's cooked perfectly. So that's on me. I am in charge of the grill, and that is also a new hobby of mine that I've developed over the last few years. And not only is it kind of fun to operate this big open flame, but how do you think women perceive this? Just picture what this looks like. You're standing there in front of the flame with a big steak in front of you, holding a metal spatula. Maybe you're sipping on a beer while you're doing that. It is just this very masculine image. And once a girl sees you like that, it's gonna be basically impossible for her ever to view you as a beta or a feminine type of guy. The two things just, they don't make sense together. And by the way, if you don't have a grill, you can still cook a great steak on a pan. It serves the same purpose. And not that I'm an expert, I'm sure there's some more seasoned grill veterans in the comments, but my basic methodology here, it helps to have a system, it's pretty easy, is I'll just flip the meat every 2 minutes from side to side so that it cooks evenly, and then you just get one of these thermometers that you stick inside, because when it reaches a certain temperature, I know for example, when the burger reaches 130 degrees Fahrenheit, I take it off, it cooks to 135, and it's a perfect medium rare. Number 2, firearms. Now, I'll be honest, this is a hobby I don't have that much experience with, but I do plan on investing more time and honing my skills in the near future. But when it comes to shooting a firearm or an archery bow, it requires a certain amount of focus, precision, and control. And what I've noticed as I've started to develop these skills is that it makes me feel a lot more competent and capable. Like, I just know that if the world got to a very scary place, I would be well equipped to handle that situation and protect myself and my family. And of course, we know that women select for strong protectors. So if she sees you in that environment, or she knows that you're someone who can handle a firearm and she has that mental picture in her head, it's just gonna make her look at you a lot different than another guy. Like, she could never look at you as weak or incapable. Number 3, the handyman. So for those of you who follow the channel, you've seen me challenge myself to do a variety of different home improvement projects over the years. From building out that home gym in our first Houston house, to assembling and mounting the storage system in our new garage here at the new house, or even just this week building out the movie room upstairs here. On one hand, there's something just very satisfying about planning out a project, then struggling with it because it never goes according to plan, and usually, I destroy a part of the wall or something, then have to patch it up afterwards. But the experience is satisfying. Whenever I walk into the garage, I'm looking at those storage cabinets like, damn, those are, perfectly level, well mounted. They look good. Not to mention that it usually serves a purpose and actually improves your apartment or your house and makes it a better place to live. But think about how women perceive these things. Man, this is like the script for an adult film where, you show up to a girl's house holding a bag of tools. She invites you in, and we all know what happens next. I say that joking, but this actually is not that far-fetched. If you're dating a girl and she moves into a new apartment and you offer to mount her TV up on the wall, that is going to effectively remove her panties at the same time. It just forces her to see you as this rough, masculine man. And again, if she sees you like that, it's impossible for her ever to see you as a simp. Even if you say the simpiest shit like, oh, your hair looks so beautiful. The way she's gonna hear that is, oh, your hair looks so beautiful today. In fact, my wife's sister, Hannah, she just told me that when she met her new boyfriend, he came over to her new apartment when she moved in, helped her out with a couple projects, and she thought it was the hottest thing ever. So my challenge for you, look around your living space right now and identify one project that you can do that will force you to develop the handyman skills. Number 4, the nomad. So look, I'm all about grinding and having a strict routine each day that allows me to be very productive. And, oftentimes you do have to go ghost mode and shut out all outside distractions just to create momentum in your life and start to build the life that you want. But at the same time, one of the biggest game changers in my life has been that I've always prioritized traveling. Even back when I was broke and I was traveling in economy, staying at dirty hostels, sharing rooms with people that were snoring and scratching their body all night in the middle of Europe. Yeah, it's nice now that I can, fly business and stay at nice hotels. But even back then, I'm fucking so grateful that I made the decision to prioritize traveling. Because when I got put into all these different situations, sometimes very sketchy and dangerous. One time, Dave and I got lost in the slums of Medellin, Colombia, and couldn't find our way back to the public transit. And we were shitting our pants. But these things build self-reliance, and they forced me to finally become an independent man and not be able to rely on, friends or family coming to the rescue if I'm across the globe, with no access to them. And also, guess what? It gave me stories to tell when I was on first dates with girls. When you tell girls stories from different parts of the world, you can just see their eyes light up. And with Julia, but with my previous girlfriend as well, it also positions you as the guy who can show her the world, which is the most romantic thing that sweeps women off of their feet. And women also value experience. They want a leader that they can look up to. And if they see you as someone who's, experienced these different parts of the world, immediately they see you as a man with experience. They cannot see you as an innocent boy. Honestly, looking back, unintentionally, it was a huge game changer for my dating life also. Now, if you don't have the types of friends who are down to go on these adventures with you, obviously it's going to make it a lot more difficult. And it goes deeper than just traveling. If you don't have friends who are on the same path as you, it's going to feel basically impossible to actually change and improve your life. Bro, there was years and years where I knew that I wanted to change, but it didn't matter because I just kept defaulting back to the same behaviors and beliefs as the friends I had at the time, just keeping my head down and playing video games and going to work. And that is literally why I created Beast Nation, which is essentially a tribe of like-minded men who are all working together and pushing each other to keep leveling up. You probably saw some of the recent events we did in Spain or Texas where we were competing and just hanging out and living it up, but it goes a lot deeper than that. The guys in Beast Nation get direct access to me on a weekly live Zoom call. There's step-by-step modules to help you launch your first side hustle, get your dating life sorted out, and more. And honestly, that's just scratching the surface. So if you want to learn more and join up now, just go to thebeastnation.com or click that link below. Heads up though, once we get to January, the prices are going to jump. But if you join now, you'll be grandfathered in and lock in that lower price for life. We just wanted to reward the guys who hopped in, took action, and joined Beast Nation during its first year. But that ends in January. Number 5, life on the edge. Man, I can clearly remember the first time I was on top of a mountain, strapping into my snowboard, looking directly down, thinking, this might be the day that I die. I was scared shitless, man, I'm gonna go way too fast. I'm not gonna know how to stop. How am I gonna get down the mountain? Since then, I've snowboarded countless times across the world, from Colorado to Switzerland. And that's actually one really cool thing about adventure sports, is they force you to travel and see different parts of the world. But even more than that, snowboarding is what gave me the power to beat down the little pussy voice inside of my head that always used to tell me, this is scary. I'm not sure you should do this. This is risky. What if you get hurt? What if she rejects you? It's not gonna work out, bro. Because every time I step on a snowboard, I have to confront those voices. And now I've given myself the proof. I've seen myself build the skill and overcome those fears. And now it's easy for me to tell that voice, yo, shut the fuck up. And it doesn't just have to be snowboarding. There's a lot of other adventure sports out there. Recently, I started wake surfing, which is not as scary as snowboarding. So I'd still rank snowboarding above it for the purposes of developing as a man. But still, last week I was out in the freezing cold water.
Cold. It's fucking cold.
Working on my 360, and it still really helps develop that mental toughness while also being fun as hell. Because once you get a level of competence with any of these sports and you're cruising down the mountain or cruising on the water, there's no quite feeling like that adrenaline rush. It's fucking dope. And when it comes to women, if a girl sees, she's swiping your dating profile and she sees that you're someone who snowboards or who skydives, well, what do you think she's gonna think about you? Maybe automatically on its own, it's not gonna make her, dripping wet, craving you, but it's gonna make her see you as a badass. Again, it's impossible to see you as a soft, weak dude if she knows that you can confront these physical fears. And she's also gonna want you to be a mentor to her. When I take Julie on the mountain and I'm, helping her learn how to carve on the snowboard, that's a very special experience that's not only romantic, but again, it positions you as the strong leader. Number 6, golf. Now on the surface, this one probably seems a lot different than the rest of my list. It's not inherently dangerous or masculine, but golf has forced me, and I've only picked this up over the last 2.5 months, but it's forced me to grow and develop in ways that I did not expect. What I did expect is that it was gonna be a difficult skill, and that process of skill acquisition and fighting hard to level up and to hit the ball a little bit cleaner. I was expecting that part of it. That's why I got into it. What I wasn't expecting was that it's essentially this intense mindfulness meditation-like practice to help me control my emotions. Because if there's one thing that's true about golf, it's that if there's any tension in my body when I go and set up for my next swing, it's going to ruin my swing path, and I'm gonna get a bad result. I'm gonna hit it like shit. So when I go out and play 18 holes of golf, 100 times I'm forced to quiet the voice in my head and remove all tension from my body. And I've noticed that since then, when I face stressful situations in other parts of my life, whether it's business or with my relationships with my wife, I'm more quickly now able to clear my mind, stay focused, and not let the tension take control of me. Now, when it comes to women, what it does is it positions you as a social guy. If she knows you're someone who's out golfing with friends or other people, she's never gonna see you as a guy who's, stuck in his parents' basement playing video games. It gives you a bit of social proof. So even if you think it's the most boring, lame sport ever, like I did for most of my life, well, maybe you're wrong about it. I know that I was. Number 7, hands-to-hands combat. So I've noticed several women share out this same meme over the past few weeks where it's like this big, beastly Mario character holding the hands and walking around with the little pink feminine character. And basically the girl's saying, this is how I want to feel when I'm walking around with my man. Like I got this big dangerous creature next to me. Now on one hand, I know it might seem a bit depressing, like fuck, I can never be some 6'6", 250-pound gorilla. That's just not how my body frame is. But on the other hand, it's actually pretty easy to give your girl or any girl this feeling when you're with them. You just need to have some actual experience with hand-to-hand combat. For me, years ago, I made the decision to train in Muay Thai because it just feels so badass. It's the combat of 8 limbs, which means you can use both of your hands, your elbows, your knees, and your shins. And as I learned how to throw an effective punch or a powerful kick, and I actually started to spar and to get hit in the face repeatedly, well, on one hand, it's not always a fun hobby to have. It can be painful and it can be frustrating when you're sparring with someone who's above your level, or you're just not able to get the exact feel for a certain type of knee or something like that. It is also very rewarding, because when I started to see videos of myself actually using correct form and looking a bit lethal, well, that gives another level of confidence that I never had before. Just knowing that if some shit went down when I was out in public, I would at least know how to approach the fight. I would at least know how to stand and how to attack and defend myself. Versus before that, I'd be completely clueless and probably be like, get away from me. Or just trying to wildly fling my arms around. And for that reason, I think every man needs to learn a fighting skill, especially if you feel some resistance to it. Like, nah, I think that's kind of lame. I'm never really gonna have to use that. Well, that resistance is probably your inner bitch telling you that this is actually something you really need. That all being said, drop a comment below right now and let me know, what hobby did I miss? What is one hobby you've learned that has helped you develop as a man and also become more attractive to females? And I know that one bad hobby or habit a lot of guys struggle with is lust and controlling their urges, which is why you need to watch this video next. It is about why overcoming lust is easy, actually. In there, I go over 5 kind of strange but very effective strategies I used to get rid of this bad habit once and for all. Click there to watch that now. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Click right there to subscribe, as I release 2 new videos every single week and you don't want to miss them. I'll talk to you in the next video. Stay beastly.